Back in 2023, I didn't realise it at the time, but I was making the best decisions of my life. You see, I quit the 9-to-5 job that I hated, I sold my overpriced house in London, and I started building a tiny home with the simple aim to not just create a lovely house to live in, but to create an entirely new life because I was done. I was bored of how I'd lived for the last 7 years, just waking up to an alarm, to go to a job I despise, to pay a mortgage for a house in an area I don't want to live. I'm living there because that's where I work. And then you realise that your life actually isn't yours anymore because everything is getting sculpted around the job. And you might be thinking, watching this, like, mate, shut up. You're just building a tiny home. It's not that big of a deal. It is, because I'm telling you right now, this changed my life completely. I then went on to make the most amount of money I have ever made, and you're going to see by the end of this what my life looks like now. And if I had known this was possible, I would have quit my job years earlier. Now, some of you might be thinking, yeah, okay, Chris, building a tiny home, I get that, but you still need to make money to live. And for those of you who are new to the channel and don't know what I do now, I make money primarily from the stock market. Like, that's where I make most of my money. Then doing up houses, adding value. And social media has actually become a pretty good earner. Like, I've made 6 figures now just from social media, which is mad considering I'm not a YouTuber. I just upload occasionally a video, and one video in 2025 made £42,000 just from one YouTube video. Another one of my videos made £36,000. And the crazy thing is I didn't do anything special for the video. I just filmed myself doing what I did anyway. It's like filming this entire tiny home has now paid for my tiny home. It makes no sense to me, and I don't get why you watching this video right now don't start a YouTube channel. I know it's difficult to do, and I know it's awkward, and you might get imposter syndrome and go, oh no, I'm scared. Well, what's a scary thought right now is me not having the amount of money that I've made from social media because I was too chicken to do it. And then what's an equally scary thought is if I didn't invest that money into the stock market. And I remember at the start of the year, people genuinely around me being like, Chris, you're allocating way too much money to these 3 names. And I ignored them because I saw an opportunity. I acted on it. And last year I increased my portfolio by just over 70% in a single year. And this year, well, if you read my weekly newsletter, you'll know what I think is going to happen by the end of 2026. And actually, this video is going to be slightly different. You see, it's going to show the tiny home transformation. I'll give you an empty house tour and how the layout all works and what it actually feels like living in a tiny home. But we're also going to go to Switzerland. And the reason why is interesting. And I'm also going to give you an apartment tour. And the place that I rent, it's a little bit different to the tiny home. Well, okay, tiny home's 30 square meters, apartment, 1 bedroom, 110 square meters. It's actually a bit too much, to be honest. I mean, it's got columns. You're going to want to see it. Now, the design of this tiny home revolves pretty much entirely around skylights. And I even put skylights in the walls. You see, they're not windows. Those are skylights that I made upstands and put them out of the side of the house. So you've got these 2.6 meter high windows, which let in so much light. Also act as a greenhouse, which during the summer can be a bit annoying, but during winter, it means you don't actually have to spend very much money on heating this place. Like, the entire house is heated just from the underfloor heating in the bathroom and 1 small radiator. So that's a benefit, but there is one real important thing with these windows, and that is your line of sight is extended beyond the walls of your house. And when in a tiny home, I think that's really why this house doesn't feel like 30 square meters, because you're looking out past the walls. Whereas imagine if all these windows were covered up, you'd be like, oh great, I'm in a container again. So the windows were crucial, and the total cost for them I'll put on the screen right now. I did manage to save quite a lot of money on windows and doors by getting used windows, which were like X display. That's a really good way to save money. Now, the exterior of this building is clad 50% in burnt cedar, the other 50% in 3mm aluminium. Now, the reason why I use 2 different types of materials is my friend has a business in metal, so he got me that at a stupid price, like a few £100. Whereas the burnt cedar, that was £2.5 grand, plus then I had to burn every single one, which was not a very enjoyable process. Would I do it again to get this look? Yes, but I would really not be happy doing it because it's not fun, but the end result is something you don't see very often. So that was also a big thing for the tiny home, is I want this place to feel special because it is a compromise living in a 30 square meter house. And therefore, if I kind of make it feel like a super yacht, which again doesn't make sense, but it kind of does because super yachts have these big portrait windows and really expensive furnishings, you kind of forget that you're in a small space. Don't know if that actually makes sense, but it does to me. So the burnt cedar and then some of the interior finishes like the marble in the bathroom and the really expensive herringbone flooring, like that was £2,000 for like 20 square meters of herringbone flooring. It's stupid, but I'm so glad I did it because it's that extra 20% you spend that you really notice, because you're going to have to spend money to make something that you don't want. Spend a little bit more and get exactly what you do want. And everything that you're going to see in this house, it's not to everyone's taste, but it works for me and how I live. Like, I don't need a load of wardrobe space. I've pretty much lived out of a suitcase for years. But this was the most difficult project I've done with regards to living in the house whilst you're doing it up, because you don't have space to store all your tools and then your belongings and then have enough space where you can actually work and have like a workbench for when it's raining. And that's why I built a second building, which one day is going to become a workspace and an office. And at the moment, it is literally just storing all the tools that were needed to build this. It was a very annoying expense to have to spend, like, what was that building? All in like 10 grand to just move everything out of this so I could get on and do all the plasterboarding. But now that it's built, I think it's insane what that's going to look like in the future. And then I'm building a third building to store a particular car. And I'm going to film building all of that more on like a regular upload type thing. And then also the landscaping of the tiny home, that's going to be a huge amount of work because I've decided to make it as complicated and difficult as possible. And I've never really done insane landscaping before. I've kind of just done the normal, you put grass down and a couple borders. I've never made it so it's got like layers in the garden and all of that stuff because the tiny home's built on a hill. So I'm going to be able to make terraces, I think, which will look insane. But if you do want regular uploads and stuff like that, you need to click the link in the description and read my weekly newsletter. I've written over 100 newsletters and I cover everything from the projects I'm working on, viewings that I have, and then a lot of the talk is about the stock market and what I'm currently investing in. Like, there's one company that I've invested more than I have in property, and it is crazy listening to people now catching up to what I was writing about a year ago. So just search Have Some Vision on Substack or click the link in the description and start reading, because if you like anything that I've ever uploaded on here, you'll really like these newsletters. There's a reason it's been a bestseller since the first week I started it. Now, there's quite a jump from this point to what you're about to see, and that is because in 2025 I had to completely reprioritize my time to the stock market, and I didn't do anything on YouTube. In fact, I don't think I've uploaded on Instagram or YouTube since, like, I don't even know when. Like, it's just not my priority, and as a result I made the most amount of money in my life. So it was definitely worth me doing, but unfortunately there's a lot of footage that I didn't bother filming because I just wanted to make this house livable. And I can't believe how this place feels now. Like, the one thing I want you to remember is you're looking at this through a lens, which kind of brings everything closer. Like, when you're actually stood here, it feels a lot more spacious than you're seeing. But even on camera, you get the idea of how light, and I know it's a bit stupid to say spacious because it is at the end of the day a 30 square meter tiny home, but I think it really doesn't feel like 30 square meters. And because I use skylights as the windows, you're getting these 2.4 meter by 50 centimeter indentations, which kind of push the wall back, making it feel more spacious. Now, the biggest difficulty I had was this kitchen. Getting everything in there was a nightmare, and it is by far the smallest kitchen I've ever made, but everything you need except for a dishwasher is there. Got 2 ovens. One of the ovens is also a microwave oven. Don't really understand how that even works, but it does. It's got the smallest sink ever, the smallest induction hob, but it's got a full-size fridge and enough storage that I need. Again, if you're a chef, you're probably going to have a lot more chefing stuff than me, so you might want a bigger kitchen than this. But for me, it works great, and the priority was the living room, as that's where I spend most of my time. About 40 minutes a day I will be in a kitchen, and usually that's just making coffees. And if you're looking at the island, I do have bar stools Well, I don't know if I do because I ordered them and they still haven't arrived. So at some point I will have bar stools, and they're really nice. So I'll do a separate video on the bar stools. And in fact, there's still a lot of things that I need to do to this tiny home, like the bedroom currently is just a mattress on the floor. And I'd like to build bespoke storage around the bed and make that area all look sick, because currently, yeah, that bit's not that good. And if you look at the window that is frosted looking into the bathroom, that's not a window, that is a leftover shower screen that I had, and I just put it in the wall so that the light from the skylight goes through it into the bedroom, and that's called borrowed light. So the skylight light is getting into the bedroom, and all of those sorts of things have made this super light, kind of spacious, I know it's 30 square meters, but it is spacious for a tiny home. And the fact that I've got everything I need to live happily here is genuinely insane, and I couldn't be happy with it, and I couldn't have done it any cheaper. Well, I could have not bought really expensive flooring, a pretty expensive kitchen, like that was $4,000 all in for everything. Now, I mentioned earlier that I rent an apartment, and this is a crucial part of the whole tiny home setup for me, is I didn't want to live a boring life. I didn't. I wanted my life to be an adventure, and having a load of cash tied up in my primary residence didn't make any sense to me. I can do so much more with my money in the stock market than the normal property market growth in the UK. So by having a very small amount of money tied up in my house, I can have more in the stock market, make more money, and then with that money, I spend it on renting places like this. So this is the 110 square meter apartment that I've been renting, and it's the complete opposite of the tiny home. There is so much wasted space, it's completely unnecessary, but I love it. And the difference from going from the tiny home to this place, it's really interesting because you get used to living in a tiny home, much like you get used to living in this palace of an apartment. It normalizes quicker than you'd think. And what's really interesting is there is always something that annoys you. When I used to live in a studio apartment in Aldgate East in London, I would complain about how cramped it was and how paper thin the walls were, so the noise from your neighbours was just mad. And now that I'm at this stage in life, there's also things that I complain about. Like, this room is so big that if you're watching TV from the bed, the TV remote doesn't reach the other side of the room, so you kind of have to get out of bed, walk close to the TV just to turn the volume up, and that's annoying. And look, has money changed me? Yes. Do I care? No. I hated who I used to be. I really want you to understand that. My life used to be miserable. I would work all of the time, and I knew that a future version of me would be really proud of myself for putting all of that work in. And now that I'm sat in this apartment right now recording this video, yeah, I'm very, very glad that I didn't listen to all of the losers that I used to hang around with who'd be like, oh, are you coming out this weekend? Oh, it'll be a laugh. Oh, you can work on that house another day. Like, nah, those people still are in the day jobs that they hate, and I am in this place. Life is sick now, like it really is. What's crazy is I once got told this was impossible, that I needed to be more realistic. I'd never achieve any of this stuff, and now it is just my reality. And I hope any of you watching this right now, no matter how bad your current setup is, if you can persevere and keep going when you're showing no progress, and I mean keep going for years, you wouldn't believe what you can achieve. Like, when I started my apprenticeship scheme in finance, I was on what, 19,000 a year? And this apartment you're looking at, it's 11,900 and something Swiss francs per month. So in 2 months of renting this place, that would be my entire old apprentice salary. And if you told me back then that this would be a reality, I would say, yep, that's probably going to happen. Because where I am right now in life was not a mistake. It was completely by design. Every single person who's close to me knew that this is what I was going for. The only reason I learnt every single trade was so that I could save money renovating houses, because everybody adds a profit margin, as they should. So if I can take them out of the equation, I can save a lot more money. When I'm saving a lot more money and I'm adding value to houses and I'm breaking the ceiling prices like the London project Terraced house did, that gives me more money to then invest into the stock market. Then the profit from the stock market goes back into another project, and that profit goes back into the stock market. And it's this cycle that grows the portfolio. It's not this one thing on this one day where you got lucky. I've never met somebody who just got lucky and then suddenly their life is amazing. It is almost always a compound effect of loads of different things working together. It's like, look at me, financial markets, the property market developing. Then I got into the social media market, Then I also became a writer on Substack. I wrote a book on the loophole that allowed me to build in an area you would never normally be allowed to build in. I then sold that book, made money from that, and then that goes back into the stock market. It is this immense snowball effect. And that's it. There is no get rich quick scheme. There is only you and the things that interest you. And if you can spend as much time doing those things, whatever they are, and with the people you actually want to spend time with, that's a successful life. So thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe if you're new, and if you could send this video to one of your friends, it would double its exposure. And that's it. Sweet. Chat in a bit.